Welcome back to the channel. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Now, first of all, I'm going to start off a little series by talking about, Bee Swarm Simulator, and I am going to try to answer the most simple questions that are being asked on the web and by the people, by you personally. So if you have a question about the game, write it down into the comment section below. Now, before I start, I wanted to tell you that I know that I'm not the biggest pro, but I would definitely say that I'm getting there. You know, I'm farming out every day. You know, just grinding alone on my own on a private server, so this is kind of crazy. We're going to answer just a few questions today. And I've been seeing a lot of people asking in the comment section of other YouTubers, what about the Photon and the Tabby Bee? Which one is the best bee? I would also like to include the Vicious Bee because it's my own personal favorite bee in the game. Doesn't mean that it is the best, but especially if you're a mid-game player, the Vicious Bee is going to become your best friend because before you couldn't kill anything, basically. You could maybe kill some ladybugs and some rhino beetles, but later on, you want to kind of like take down the bigger bosses or the coconut crab and stuff, and you really need the Vicious Bee. It kind of unlocked so much for me in a short amount of time, so I'm a very big Vicious Bee fan. But that's not going to be the main focus today. The main focus is actually the Tabby Bee, and we also have the Photon Bee. I have them both here, level 10. And let's talk about them, which one's better? I'm gonna talk about two versions. One is the gifted version, one is the non-gifted version. As you can see, my first star treat that I received from killing the coconut crab, I used on my Tabby Bee, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second, but let's get right to it. So, first of all, how do you get them? How do you get those bees? Very simple. We got the ticket shop right over here, and we do have the Tabby Bee right here, and we have the Photon Bee right over here. Now, the question is, if you really ask yourself, I have 500 tickets now, and I want to get either one of those bees here. I'm going to make a different guide video on all of these bees, but we're going to start in this video about the Photon and the Tabby Bee because they're like in the spotlight right now. So, the Tabby Bee and the Photon Bee. Now, first of all, let's talk about the non-gifted version. I'm going to pull them up here in our bee index. We have to scroll all the way down, and let's just start with a Photon Bee, okay? So the energy is unlimited, which is really good. It's also the fastest bee. I'm pretty sure it's definitely one of the fastest bees, but it's so fast. I always see it like overlapping my other bees. And the good thing is it doesn't have to go to sleep. That's obviously something really good. So my tip to you is if you're somebody who does not play a lot, then the Photon Bee is definitely for you because the conversion rate is much higher without even doing any criticals, you know? It just has a high conversion rate. It's instantly going to convert your honey the pollen to honey, sorry. And we also have, look at this, we have collects 20 pollen in 2 seconds, really good, makes 240 honey in 2 seconds, also really good. And the gifted hive bonus for the people who don't know this, if you gift your bees with, for example, a star treat, then you get a gifted hive bonus, and it gives you 5% instant conversion. Now, what does the Photon Bee in general do? First of all, it has 50% movement speed, 50% gather and convert speed. It has 10%, plus 10 gather amount, plus 160 convert amount, plus 2 attack, and it doesn't require sleep. Very good. It has its own special attack, which is called Beamstorm. Let me just quickly go into the field, then maybe I can show it to you. I don't know if we're gonna get lucky right now, but I'm just gonna try. Let's get my bees. Hello. And let's just hope if the Photon Bee is going to drop. I think it's going to immediately drop. Oh no, that was a link token. Maybe we're going to get lucky and we're going to see that move from the Beestorm. I'm just going to quickly do this for 20-30 seconds. Maybe we get lucky, maybe we don't. But then I'm going to explain to you what it will look like and what it wasn't. We just saw the Tabby Bee over there. Here's the Gummy Bee. This is what the Gummy Bee does. It turns your field into goo, which is very good because later on you're going to get quests where you have to collect a lot of goo. So I'm just waiting for my Photon Bee here to do something for us so we can we got another link token here, which is okay as well, you know. We're just trying to I know, by the way, this is the white field here is probably my worst fields because I have a red hive. So don't worry about that. I'm just getting not a lot of honey per second. So I'm just going to, I just did it because it's the next closest by. field, and I'm just gonna wait for the Photon Bee to drop by. But anyways, I'm just going to try to explain what it does. Oh, there it is, there it is. So if we use, this is the bee storm, it's going to razor down on the field, as you can see, and it instant converts much faster into honey. So that is the beam storm. I believe the more you level up your bee, the crazier it gets. It's a very nice move, and like I said, if you're somebody who doesn't play this game a lot, then this bee is definitely the better bee to choose from. Now, if you're somebody ungifted, right? Ungifted. I'm talking about ungifted right now. Now, if you're somebody who plays longer and more, you know, let's say 2, 3, 4 hours a day, like me, then the Tabby Bee is really good. I'm going to talk about the Tabby Bee because it is a bit more complicated than the Photon Bee. The Photon Bee is pretty straightforward. It converts pollen into honey very fast. It has its bee storm, you know. It has some instant conversion right over here as well if it's gifted. And it's just here. Let's just read through the beam storm. Fires 26, 2 per level beams from the sky, which collect and double all pollen from flowers, which is really good as well. And it gifted, the pollen is instantly converted. It's just really good. It's just really good in general. But now on the Tabby Bee, we have something much different. So ungifted, I don't know. Would I get it? Probably I would as well, because it levels itself up. Now that is the cool part. When you first get it, it doesn't basically do very much. But let me get quickly go into the Tabby Bee. There we go. It doesn't do much. It doesn't do much a lot at all, actually. It starts off with 1%. But how do you level it up, you may ask? You just play the game. You just collect tokens. After a while, the Tabby Bee drops like these Tabby coins, and if you pick them up, it levels up. So we have an energy of 28, which is pretty good. The speed is also pretty good. The attack is pretty good. We got collects 10 pollen in 4 seconds and makes 160 honey in 3 seconds, which is also good. But here is the very interesting thing that I really enjoyed. So the gifted hive bonus doesn't only have a 50% critical power when it's doing scratches. So the Tabby Bee, what it does is you're running on the field and there's a Tabby coin, you run over it and it starts doing a little bit of a scratch in the ground, maybe like the rake, if you know the rake, if you're in the mid game when you play with the rake wand or whatever it's called, and then it does like a scratch in the ground. And that's what the Tabby Bee does as well. And when she does that, we're going to talk about that here in a second. First of all, the bee has 50% energy, 15% movement speed, 25% convert speed, 3% attack, up to 1,680 convert amount, up to 100 gather amount. So that's very good as well. And in the scratch here it is, collect 7 pollen from 3 lines of 4 flowers if gifted. Now that is this is why the gifted version is much better than the Photon Bee. If gifted, scratch is always critical. Okay, so it is always critical, and if you have it up to 1,000%, it gets 1,000% from scratch. Pollen from scratch. That is insane. So for example, let's just give you a good example, because I do also have the Gummy Bee, but you can do that with gumdrops as well. If you have the the quest where you have to do where you have to collect goo, right? That is sometimes very wise and very interesting. So you're going to wait for the Tabby coin. Let's just see if we're going to get it. We can actually run over that gummy thing here over there, but just ignore that one, because most of you probably don't have the Gummy Bee yet. And even if you do, that's even better. Let's wait for the Tabby coin. Wait, no, that's not it. It's like an orange blacky kind of coin. What I usually would do then is wait for it, obviously. Well, I'm just gonna tell you what I do. What I do is I wait for the coin, then I'm gonna drop down some goo like that. Hopefully the coin is right above it, walk above the coin, and it's going to scratch a huge amount of pollen out of the goo field. So it's going to actually give you a lot of goo for your quests, because later on the goo quests are really annoying, especially if you don't have the Gummy Bee. It's going to get really annoying. So right now we're really unlucky of not getting the Tabby coin. Usually oh, there it is. Oh no, that's actually a coin to level up. There we go, we can level up. That's good. So yeah, this is how you level up the Tabby Love. Like I said, if you play a lot, the Tabby is also better for you to get ungifted, because you can already start leveling up if you play a lot. But if you only play like 10 to 20 minutes a day or something, the Photon Bee is probably much more worth it. But in general, I would go for the Tabby. So for me, because I am the person who grinds out a lot of fields, I would definitely go for Tabby Bee in general. This was also the first bee that I gifted from all of them. I know some people say, this is why I wanted to talk about the Vicious Bee here for a second. Some people say Vicious Bee is the best way to gift, first gift first. But I seem to enjoy the Tabby Bee much more. But they both have to be gifted at one point. Same goes for the other event bees. But I would personally go for the first. The first I would go for the Tabby Bee. So I saw this poll online where there were, I think, 2,000 people were voting, and 81% chose the Tabby Bee. And I think there was like 12%. Oh, there's the Tabby coin. So this is what I would do. Hopefully it gets with goo. No, it didn't. Oh, that's bad. That was unlucky. That was really unlucky. Usually I boost it with goo. It's above it, and then we get a scratch, and then we get a lot of goo out of it. But, you know, oh my god, it's so bad. Like, I actually don't even want to be on this field here right now because it's just so bad. Look at this. I do like 3,000-4,000 a second. Usually I do 200 to 300,000 up on the Pepper Patch because I have a very red-based hive. So yeah, this is my answer. Tabby Bee is definitely the one, and especially if you get it up to 1,000. I mean, this bee is going to be the big boss of the big bosses, okay? Tabby Bee is really good bee to have. So I would do Tabby Bee, Photon Bee, these two, Kobold, and the other one. What is it? I don't even know what they're called. Let me see. Crimson and Kobold. Then I would do Puppy Bee, and then Festive. And yeah, well, then the Cupbearer at one point because it's quite expensive. It's 2,000 tickets. But apart from that, that's what I would have done, yeah, in that thingy. Some people say they would do Photon first, and that is ungifted. Yeah, I would do probably, maybe, I think I even did that first. I think I did. Photon Bee was my first bee that I got. So let me revise that. Let me change that. You can choose between these two. It depends on your playing. Because back in the day, I wasn't playing a lot. This is why I went for the Photon. But if you play a lot like me now, I would have probably gone for the Tabby first and then for the Photon. So that is up to you. That is all up to you. And I know many different YouTubers out there with different opinions on these two bees. But yeah, this is it. What do you think about the Tabby and the Photon? Which one did you choose first? I would really love to know that, so please write it down into the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.